everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Four Jobbers Podcast. I am, of course, Brad. I'm the orange one, known as Ginger Heat, and we have a very, very special guest this week. That is right. He is creative, he is hilarious, he is amazing and knowledgeable and all of those things, and rocking some amazing swag today. What is going on, Zach? How you doing?
Good. I mean, I was being all flattered by that the moment an airplane was flying overhead, so I had to mute a better part of it. I'm sure it was all very flattering. I really appreciate it all. But I'm loving the coordination that we didn't even do, because again, we got three Sami Zayn related T-shirts going on.
Goat.
That's unfortunate to see.
If I'd known, I would have worn my Brett T-shirt, but it's okay. It's okay. We do have
once
some
again,
other
yeah.
jobbers.
Thank you very much for welcoming me to the show today. This is great.
It's good to have you, and of course, we are joined by none other than the body from Kirkcaldy, Jordan Deves, all the way from Edinburgh, Scotland. Although he was recently here in Montreal, had a good time rampaging across the city. But how you doing, buddy?
It's currently 1 a.m. here. I don't know how you think I'm doing. I'm sleepy as feck, man. I'm struggling, but it's fine. I had a coffee. It doesn't matter what time it is. I've got a jar. We'll get through the little. What have we got today? Another Welsh beer. We're good. We're fine. We'll power through. I'm working tomorrow, but no. In fact, no. I'm working today. Ah, hell. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll work out, right? We'll be okay.
Were you into the jars on the weekend, or what? What was going on there? I think we saw a couple texts flying by.
Yeah, this always happens. Whenever I get drunk, I end up sending messages and voice memos and stuff like this to the boys. I don't really remember it this time at all. And then I got sent from my valet a video of me sitting on the bus on the way home, right? And I'll send it to you guys so you can watch it later. But it's me sitting on the bus, just in my own world, singing the Pokemon theme tune at a pretty good level, right? I was, I won't lie, I was watching it back, going, maybe I should record this.
You can sing, so yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, maybe give it a go. I mean, this is I'm actually embarrassed to tell you, it was only about 10 o'clock, but I started at 4 p.m.
in the morning.
So yeah, exactly. I'll send it to you. It's an interesting one, but normally you'll hear some weird things. You might even hear this drop that we have, of course. There's a classic for you for those who haven't heard it before. But yeah, that's what Scotland does to you, man. You just get pushed and then you fall about, and good times. Good times.
You ever been over there, Zach? Ever been to the...
I would very much like to. I use the name Zak Ralph because it's easier to pronounce than my actual last name. My last name is Scottish. I've got heritage out that way. So for that reason, I've always wanted to cross the... cross the Atlantic and come check it out sometime.
Are you happy sharing your last name here?
Yeah, I don't mind. It's Threepland.
Threepland?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's not one I've ever heard.
Sick.
Oh, there you go.
You know what? From what I've been told, although there's some investigations into my family tree, I'll say that much. But up until fairly recently, once my son came around, I was, from what we understood, the last Threepland on the bloodline.
Wow. Oh, the bloodline. That's a whole new storyline coming out.
Tribal chief.
Absolutely. We've got him on the pod. Yes.
Acknowledged.
Yeah. If you ever went over, I'm sure you'd be welcomed with open arms by Jordan and everybody else. I mean, that's how I met him. I was working over there first day. I walk in to check out the store there, and looking around, and he goes, "Hi, you right, Paul?" I go, "Oh yes, I'm okay. Hi, I'm from Canada. I'm going to be working here. All right, meet back here 6 o'clock. Pints." And that was it.
That's how you start a friendship.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Do you know what? It wasn't so much a friendship at that point. I just wanted to size up this guy. He rocks up here in my country and goes, "I'm going to be working here, eh?" And I'm like, "We'll see about that, I thought I'd have a good chat with him, a few pints. He passed the test. He was all right. He's a good lad,
I'm sure wrestling came up at some point, and that was it. That was like the...
Yeah, I think that was me hooked. I fell in love, you know.
And of course, you'll fall in love with everybody else here, like the Waxy, the Venomous, the son of the dentist, the Wax Mamba himself. How are you doing, buddy? Looking good, looking dapper.
Thank you. I clearly missed the wrestling shirts memo. I would have put one on if I had the wherewithal. It's kind of my own fault. I'm coming on a wrestling podcast that I do every week, and just not dressing in uniform. That's delinquency. Otherwise, besides sweating my ass off and coughing up a lung, I'm doing all right. Couldn't complain.
That's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, pretty good.
You're alive, at least, through all this smoke, and someone who is all about smoke and mirrors. The enigmatic, the charismatic, the bizarre, the mysterious Jason himself. Jason Punk, still your name. Did you watch the CM Punk match? Are you still a fan of what he's doing right now, bud?
Yeah, I did watch the match. I am a fan of what he's doing. I always tune in. I wasn't watching AEW much, but now he's back, so he's got me interested. And I have a big, nice, bright light in my face, so you can see me, and we can share this, and we can all be seen. Normally, I'm lurking in the dark, but today I'm in light.
He's looking like Palpatine over there, but it's nice to see your face.
Yeah. He's some boys there, Jason.
So, Jordan, what do you have in store for us this week? Is there anything you want to get into? Do you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on? What do you think?
Well, of course, with our beautiful guest here, we're obviously going to fire into some questions back and forth, get to know him a little bit, chat about what kind of work he's been doing and what kind of stuff got him into wrestling in the first place. And I think after that, let's chat a little bit. You teased it a little bit there. Let's chat about Forbidden Door. Let's talk about it. It's just a door, apparently, that opens and closes.
Can't go through it.
You can't go through it, but you can sometimes shake hands through it or punch the guy in the face through it, at least. And then, of course, once we've moved on from that, if there's any other news we need to tie up from the week, I'm sure Wax will take us through that before we move swiftly into some predictions. Because, of course, we moved from one, well, we call that one a pay-per-view, I guess, because I guess that's what they call it, into another pay-per-view that's not a pay-per-view. It's called a PLE. It's a premium live event, but it's basically a pay-per-view, but it's not called that anymore. We have Money in the Bank this weekend coming. And actually, do you know what's frustrating as hell? It's in London, right? So you'd think I'd be watching it live because it will be a normal time for me. But I can't because I'm busy. I've got plans. How crap is that, right?
What do you have going on, huh? Yeah, what plans?
plans.
One thing to do.
It's do you know what? It's their fault for booking Money in the Bank on my mate Duncan's birthday, right? I've got drinks to have.
Duncan McConnell is taking priority. All right, Duncan is a really nice guy, for the record. So I can't be that mad.
Seems very inconsiderate of the WWE, if you ask me.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Duncan would give them a piece of his mind if he knew. I'm sure.
He should.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah. But I guess let's just dive.
You're going to bring us through. Bring us into AEW. Let's go.
No. We're going to talk to Zach first. It's like AEW.
Zach first. Much better.
Sweet.
Yeah, so let's just jump straight in. Zach, welcome again to the pod. Like, it's class to have you here. Obviously, we were celebrating the fact that we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, which doesn't seem like a lot, but to us, that's massive. So we were very happy about that. We thought, what better way to celebrate than get a guest on? So, why don't you just introduce yourself, obviously, to us and everyone that's listening, and a little bit about what it is that you do.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, congratulations on 500. That's awesome. It's a great milestone to hit. Well done, gentlemen. So I am Zach. I work with Love Wrestling. I work in other things, but, relevant to this sphere. I work with Love Wrestling. I am the general manager of the content end of the website. For those who don't know, Love Wrestling, it's got lots of wrestling-centric content, various interviews, various live streams, things of that nature, all revolving around pro wrestling. And also once a month, we do a live wrestling show out of Edmonton. So that's why we make it clear I'm the general manager of content. I'm not making matches for the monthly events in Edmonton. That's what I do, and that's what we do.
How did you get into that? Is that something that has been around for a while now, or?
Well, I got into the whole like content sphere a few years back. I had just like gotten out of like the art scene. I was like I was involved in set and costume design for theater and film, and unfortunately that didn't work out for me. So I still needed something creative, and I needed something that I could do on my own calendar. You know, like I didn't want to have to coordinate my schedule with 100 other people, 100 other actors, and other people in the scene and whatnot. Needed something that my calendar was like first and foremost. So I kind of like delved into streaming, podcasting with some friends who needed some content on their network, which is now come and gone. And that's how Smart and Friends started. That was my first foray, my first podcast. And that's how I got Spencer's attention. And a few years later, he reached out to me. He says, we're launching Love Wrestling at the beginning of 2021. Want you to be a part of it. And I was part of it. We just moved forward from there.
That's
amazing. So that's
class.
how you know, like, that's how you know the Bean Duck guys.
Yeah. I worked with the Bean Duck guys for LARP's season 2. I did the costume design on that one.
No way, that's sick. Yeah, I know those. I know that group from various ACTRA events for sure, because I'm a part of ACTRA, and then auditioning for them or just seeing them, everywhere, because they're always drinking somewhere, right? So
yeah. I mean, like that was really funny when you and I kind of like cross paths, Brad, like on Instagram or whatever, and like oh yeah, he's got a wrestling podcast. Cool, I'll follow him back. Oh, friends with Beatrice, friends with Julian. How about that?
Yeah. That's why I never brought it up before. I was like, man, that's so sick that you were involved in such a big way too. That's it's just a great show.
Oh,
it must have been so much fun. Like, great group of people.
Yeah, and again, like that was the real turning point for me, because like again, that show did very well. We were really happy with it. It got picked up by Geek and Sundry, which is Felicia Day's like network. I don't know if she owns it or whatnot. And it was very well celebrated. I won, like, not to brag or anything, but like I won a costume design award for it.
Let's go.
And yeah, I was very proud. But like when I wasn't able to turn that into like real significant career momentum, I knew that was time to like call it a day on that scene, kind of thing.
I was like me after the Napa commercial. There wasn't much traction after, and here I am.
And you were in that one commercial, I thought 100 times, if I remember right?
Yeah.
Did you only get paid once for that, or did you get paid?
I got paid once, yeah, but then there was one residual check, so that was great.
Oh, nice. There you go. Not bad.
You had to get yourself the deal of the guy who played all the Oompa Loompas in Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake. He got paid like for every Oompa Loompa he played.
No way.
Yeah,
that's
he made bank.
That's fucking sick.
I'm sure there's a scene where there's like
Anything
him copy and pasted about 100 by 100 in a room. So
Yeah.
like, he must have been loaded.
Did he write that scene after that? He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need creative
The
control.
contract came in first, and then it was, I've got an idea for one of the songs, that might work. That's class.
Yeah.
And obviously the reason that we're here is professional wrestling, right? So you obviously have a love for that I imagine dates back somewhat. How did you get into wrestling when you were younger?
Dude, I have thought long and hard about that, and I can't remember, man. It's just always been a part of like my fandom, part of things I've enjoyed. I think it's largely in part due to my brother. My brother is, he's a little bit older than I am, so he was already like really interested in things like professional wrestling, and I kind of followed Big Brother's lead. My cat is knocking shit over. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
quite all right.
Sorry.
To be fair, there's like two other guys on
my
here that have
goodness.
got cats as well, so
Mm-hmm.
they're
He is always
causing havoc.
Oh yeah, this guy is always knocking shit over. This is can I swear here? Sorry about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's fucking fine. Don't worry.
There you go.
we can't have a Scotsman on. We don't have enough budget for the bleeping. It's just like
Yeah, exactly.
Fair. But yeah, like that's what I remember, man. I know I got like a picture somewhere in my parents' basement, buried in a box or something, of me watching wrestling as just like a little kid, like barely 2 or 3 years old, whatever. Yeah, it's just ingrained in my DNA at this point.
That's class.
Yeah, that resonates with me. I kind of in the same way. I can't pinpoint when maybe I got the bug for wrestling. It feels like it's always been there. Do you have an earliest maybe wrestling memory that might stick out?
Yeah, I guess like the first like concrete memory. Yeah, I remember renting the Mega Powers Explode VHS from the video store around the corner months after it streamed. That's not that's current life. No, back months after it aired on pay-per-view, closed circuit TV, what have you. And yeah, renting from like the video store, it wasn't like a major chain or anything, but they had a nice little wrestling section, and yeah, getting Mega Powers in like starting from there, man.
Nice. I was never renting wrestling videos. I was the one who was begging my dad to actually buy the pay-per-views every month, and he was a big enough fan of wrestling in his day that I think he appreciated my love for it, like father, like son. But the Mega Powers I do remember, and he would remember them too. So that's nice.
I did not have that same experience with my parents. I was never able to convince them to order pay-per-views. When my brother moved out, it was very unfortunate because he would always pay for it. And I think the first one that I ended up paying for was, definitely. It was King of the Ring 2000, the one with Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon.
That one.
Yeah, that was the first pay-per-view like I rented and was like, oh my god, what
Money well spent.
Oh boy, well, that one match alone was just outstanding.
Yeah, you just tweeted about that. I think you were mentioning it very recently, that was kind of one of the original introductions to deathmatch in your life, at least.
I think it was Matt Kuhn that I was replying to. Like he posted a GIF of it or whatnot. But yeah, like we're there's a wealth of deathmatch wrestling that's readily available, and it's not really always been my thing. But like, but that match in particular was just like that was exceptional, and I don't think I'll ever forget that match.
No, for good reason. For good reason.
Yeah, it's a good point. It seems like deathmatch wrestling and indie wrestling go hand in hand, or at least like extreme violence. And it's a lot of people that I know and trying to get people into wrestling. You bring them to a show, they have to kind of be comfortable with that kind of stuff because there aren't, at least around here, it seems to be more prevalent. Do you guys know? Like, has that always been the case, or is that just how it is here?
I'm really only familiar with like IWS myself, like, and they're known for the ultra violence. I know you guys were at the GCW IWS crossover event, which was again an outstanding main event.
Of course.
Yeah, just absolutely wild and one of the most violent experiences I've ever seen. I'm not too familiar with other local indies. I'm not sure what their deathmatch policy or whatnot is.
I think it's a bit of both. I think IWS in particular is definitely more on the ultra violent side.
I guess the other one thing is Battle War, right? Because that's the only other one I go to often or have gone to frequently, and that one usually involves some sort of. I mean, I guess they're. No, yeah, it's always pretty violent. Never mind.
Yeah,
it's
it is
kind
what it
of
is.
in
I
the
mean,
name.
It's a death match. I hope it's violent.
Yeah. True, but there's not always death matches, but there's usually going to be some sort of violent match, at least one, but maybe less so than that. But you're right, IWS. That's kind of the point. So,
yeah, I think in recent years they've kind of mild it out. Like they'll do a death match like at the very end after a night of like a very variety show kind of card. But it's that's still true. Very much in the DNA of IWS.
And I guess it's also like Nick Gage was in town, so like let's fucking go.
You're not bringing Nick Gage across the border to do a technical, barn burning masterpiece.
Come on,
submissions only.
I think, I was trying to think about my earliest memory of wrestling, right? Just when you were mentioning that, and it's funny because I'm the same as Wax. Like for me, I was the guy that got all the stuff on pay-per-view, right? But again, it was always like 1 a.m. for me. But I remember distinctly sitting in the living room with 3 or 4 of my mates, and we had they had all managed to get £2 or £3 from their parents, brought it to my house and gave it to my dad so that we could rent WrestleMania X7 and watch it live. Like I distinctly remember sitting there like I must have been like 10 or something like that, and us all sitting watching it and then giving my dad £3 or £4 while he fell asleep on a chair in the back just watching it, trying to stay awake or whatever. But like, yeah, those memories, I guess, are really important to keep hold of. Like, not the reason necessarily, as you say, you got into wrestling, but the earliest memory you have of it is always important. But talking about some favorites, then, like it's really tough, and we've spoken about this a lot. But we threw some questions at you, and it's kind of favorites,
Yeah.
or in your opinion, the best at whatever. And one of the questions we had, we'll come to the biggest one at the end. One of the questions we asked was, one of your favorite wrestling moments. Can you give us one of your favorite wrestling moments?
I think one of my favorites, like a lot of people attribute like the Austin 316 to like the thing that really kicked off the Attitude Era. Like that's kind of like the thing that people kind of point to, or maybe more accurately, Austin giving the stunner to McMahon at Madison Square Garden. But really, like the harbinger to the Attitude Era, the thing that like came right before that really set the tone was when Bret Hart. He lost the match. I forget the match, but I remember the promo like night and day. They're taking down the cage around him. Bret Hart just lost the match, and he shoves Vince McMahon down. He starts cursing on air, like, disappointed doesn't even fucking cut it, just like that was like, oh my God, what's going on? Why is Bret so upset? So that one's big for me. Another one would be WrestleMania 30. Daniel Bryan defeating Batista and Randy Orton in the triple threat match, winning the World Heavyweight Championship.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. I went to my brother's place to watch that match. And I was very excited about the win. And I jumped up down on his couch and I broke his couch.
Nice.
Yep. He was getting a new one anyway.
Oh, then it's fine. That's fine. You did him a favor, help him break that one down so you can get out the door easier. That's fine.
Did you continue celebrating after? Did you just like keep it flowing, or at that point it was like, okay?
Oh, dude, I didn't even actually notice. Like I didn't feel anything break, and I'm a little skeptical. Like I'm told that I broke it, but like I weighed like 140 pounds at most at that time. There's no way. I'm skeptical about this story.
It was a work couch.
It's a work couch. It's a gimmick couch.
It's like that episode of Friends where is it Joey's chair's broken or whatever, and they put it back together and get somebody to sit in it. Just like, hey,
Sets it up. Yeah.
Sofa, you know.
That's what the
They
fridge
did that
do.
to me.
Definitely something there. Bastard.
He got me. He got me. I'm all heated about it now.
Yeah, that's fair.
How do you make you
there's
pay
a couple-
for it, or just the guilt?
No.
Okay,
No,
just the
it
guilt.
Guilt was
Yeah,
enough.
I keep
just the
bringing
guilt.
it up at like family get-togethers and things like that.
Yeah.
Remember that time
I'm
you
a big
broke
brother,
that
so I
fucking
can see the
sofa, you know?
tactics.
Gonna throw it back in his face the next time.
Yeah, there you are. So moving on from favorite moments, there are definitely what people would call signature moves or finishers or whatever you want to call them. There are definitely parts of a wrestler's repertoire that always, when you see it, you go, "Nice! I'm excited for this." Yeah. Do you have a favorite finisher that every time you see it, you pop for it?
Two right now. Two that always
Two,
come to mind
nice.
is, well, like this one not so much. Seeing it these days, just because like it's not as innovative as like the first time I saw it. But Victoria's Widow's Peak, that blew my mind the first time I saw it. Like that, like a gory special into a neck breaker. I pop big for when I see something just like really innovative that. And like I'm not trying to like down talk any form of professional wrestling, but like overly choreographed, overly Towers of Dooms, like I can't stand that. That's like not my cup of tea at all. So when something is really innovative and looks realistic or logical in a pro wrestling setting, that's what gets me. So the Widow's Peak blew my mind, and the other one right now. Yeah, just great move. And the other one that gets me now is the Shatter Machine. Of course, made famous by FTR. A couple other people are using it now, namely when Edge and Beth Phoenix teamed up. That was awesome that they hit the Shatter Machine. Are they calling it that now? Did they get the name? Because I know they were calling it Big Rig for a little while as a nod to Brody.
I think it is called the Shatter Machine. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
what I know it as. Personally.
Yeah, I've heard some whispers that they were kind of like trying to get the name back. but I don't know how that materialized. So, but yeah, Shatter
Pretty
Machine
sure they do.
and
Fair enough.
the Widow's Peak favorites.
Damn.
Great picks. I
Thank
would
you.
never have guessed that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
nice.
We had Jason
Coming in
nodding
left field
along with
with
the Tower of Doom hate, that's for sure.
That's when they get in the corner and they pile
They
like
all
18 guys and do a
pile up,
superplex.
Yeah,
Not down for that. No, I don't like that.
I agree.
Why not, Jason?
I agree.
What's
It
wrong-
should
what's
happen
wrong
like
with that?
once a year, not like every month. You know?
Yeah.
Should never happen.
It's the same with like the you know when they do that thing where it's like I'm going to suplex you in the middle of the ring, and then someone goes, "No, you're not. The two of us are going to suplex you," and then another one comes in. It's like, "No, the two of us are going to get you," and it's
Yeah.
like it ends up with like 9 people just flipping another 4. It's ridiculous. Come on,
Mhm.
you telling me?
I'll say
for the last like 5 minutes, they've all just stood there doing nothing, holding onto each other's heads, waiting for each other to lift it up.
It's not worth the spot. You know what I mean?
It's not worth it.
Nah, it's
not worth it.
I'll tell you the moment that Adam Page won me over was a Tower of Doom spot where he was teaming with someone we probably don't want to mention on air, but he was teaming with them and they were on the tail end of what was going to be a big overly done superplex spot. Adam Page runs in and he just disassembles it. He just like pulls people off, throws them off, rescues his partner,
Nice.
and he just like poses in the middle of the ring. I'm like, you're officially one of my favorite wrestlers, Adam Page.
Yeah, saved you from that pish, as we would call it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Aye.
That's class.
Yeah.
And of course, we are the 4 jobbers, right? That means that we have a absolute basic understanding, and by basic, you really need to redefine what that word means to explain our understanding of wrestling. But we do have a basic understanding of wrestling and how it kind of all pieces together. And there are others within the industry that are known as jobbers, right? Let's call them enhancement talent sometimes, right? Or even lovable losers, right? And
Yeah.
we all have one. We all have one that's your guy. I'm pretty sure. Who was yours again, Wax? I remember yours was pretty good, if I remember.
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater.
Great
yeah.
shout.
Yeah, like it's a
He's like
it's
the
a
Stone
great
Cold
shout.
Steve Austin of
He's
being a
the
lovable
Stone Cold
loser.
of jobbers. That's
Right?
right. He's got
Yeah, I mean-
kids.
Mine was Hurricane. Shane Helms, class.
Oh.
Like, he was always around. He always did loads, but he never really got past a certain point, right? But Zach, do you have a favorite lovable loser?
Judging by Jason's shirt, I think this answer might actually upset him, but I'm gonna
Can't
go
be
with
him.
Dwayne Gilbert.
Oh.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna say Goldberg, and I'm gonna be
No.
crazy.
I'm not. I don't have it. Yeah, I know. I can't really. I would never be able to justify calling Goldberg a jobber, even though I would very much like to try, maybe. But no, Dwayne Gill, the
loser
whole,
definitely, and lovable
Bad
definitely
wrestler.
not for Goldberg. So
Gilbert's
But
a
that-
great. Yeah.
yeah, that parody that they were doing,
Wow.
like I remember when they debuted it because, like, again, he was recently light heavyweight champion. He just had a victory over Mark Miro, who was like trying to get out of the company. So they did if I lose this match, I'll quit the company. And sure enough, Dwayne Gill beats him, and the whole Gilbert gimmick started running. Like he had like really
Amazing.
cheap pyro, like nothing like the spectacle that was Goldberg's pyro, but like little
like
Ricky Dick
sparklers.
sprinklers.
Mm.
Yeah,
like
and he would be
sparklers,
like
yeah.
startled by them and like kicking the sparks away. Like the reverse streak they did, like it's like he's 0-52. It's just great
Yeah.
stuff.
Goldberg
And he was always
hated
in
him,
character.
right?
He was
Yeah.
always in it. He came
Yeah.
out as
Yeah.
the character. So that's what made it, real for us.
Yeah. And like Wax
Nice.
just said, the fact that Goldberg himself hated it, that just makes me like it even more.
No way, he did?
Yeah. I think
That's
Dwayne
amazing.
went on some show. I saw him do something where he's like, yeah, Bill fucking hated me. Like he had genuine anger in his eyes every time he saw me or something like that. But hey, he achieved his purpose. He got over. So
Yeah.
I think that's a great call. That's a great
yeah,
call.
it's a great
Yeah.
pick. It's a great pick.
A lot of fun.
Let's move on then.
Wait.
Oh,
I have
no,
a bonus.
go for it.
I have a bonus question, just because you mentioned you did a costume design.
Oh,
What
shit.
is your favorite wrestling attire?
Oh, that's a good question.
bonus question?
Uh,
Nice.
Ironically, I want to say Max Moon. One of the most
expensive.
ridiculous ones. Yeah, that's a really good question. Oh man, Taker's had some great ones.
Put you on the
Put me
spot.
again, spot.
Yeah.
Take your time. It's a tough question.
You know,
Because
it is a tough question.
there's a lot of great.
You know, if I think of this, I'm probably going to come up with a different one later on. But big fan of Laparca. I love the skeleton and
crazy.
he just pieced it all together. He made it all work. My favorite Brett gear. He didn't wear it too often, but like, you know, it was like standard pink and black singlet and long tights. But like it had like an accent, like little sprinkles of white all over. I believe he wore it in the match against 1-2-3 Kid. I thought that was like one of his best looks, and I wish he held on to that a little while longer. They looked like stars, you know, like it just looked really cool.
Brett's
For sure.
So
good calls for
So
me.
good.
Absolutely, positively, 100% is Shawn Michaels. I don't know exactly which one, but those hearts on his tights, I loved them as a kid. Had all the action figures, all the different attires, all the different colors. 100%.
Black and aqua.
Did you like Sean's
like the blue and
later
black
stuff
ones,
also? Like his
no, he had some
bell-bottoms,
really
or
bad
you like
ones too, but they were like unfinished when he came back for his second run in the early 2000s. Like his brown tights in the Elimination Chamber were some of the worst of all time.
Those were unfinished.
But they said it wasn't finished. So, and I
growing
didn't
up
like when he went to pants. I hate pants that go over the sick boots that you have. I don't like those long pants that go over the boot. So when he changed to that, no thanks. No.
And that's when you moved to loving Goldberg more than Sean, right?
No, I always like Goldberg.
Oh, right, okay. He was just on the same level, okay.
But his
What about
tights were very
Goldberg's?
basic.
Yeah, they're just black.
He didn't need it.
pants,
He's such a star. He
essentially.
just has like the black tights, just like Austin, you know?
So if he'd come out in nothing, just his knob hanging out, it would have been okay for you as well.
He's got the biggest jackhammer in the building. Always.
Nice.
Also got to shout out Rob Van Dam, the airbrush singlets.
yeah.
100%.
Always,
Amazing.
always hits. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Great shout.
What about top 4 favorite films right now? Since we're still in the costume.
Favorite films.
Don't have to be of all time, but 4 of your favorites. You know, like
With wrestlers in it?
oh, is there that many? Are there
if you
4?
could name 4, I'd be
bangers?
impressed.
Yeah.
but-
Fight
Marine
Club.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Marine 1, 2, 3, 4. Fight Club.
Fair.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
I just saw that recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be really difficult, but let me try something. Right, you keep talking.
My Cousin Vinny.
whoa.
Okay.
And Batman Returns.
Whoa.
Nice.
Crazy, Jordan.
Imagine you drop
Oh my
it.
goodness.
No, please.
It's one of
That's
my.
crazy. It's bigger than you.
It's mine.
It's the Lego one.
That is beautiful. That's huge.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It took me about
last week I was
4
having to
weeks
take
to
up all
build.
the pieces. Show me every room.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
I think the only last question we have, at least in this part of the interview, is who's your GOAT, Zach? Who's either your pick for
Favorite
best
or
or your
GOAT?
favorite? Could be both.
Oh, yeah.
If they're different people, we can hear both of them. But
Bret Hart. 100% Bret Hart. The greatest.
Yes.
The greatest of all time.
Love that.
Best there is,
answer.
best there was, best there ever will be. I knew at least one of my answers would upset you there, Jason.
No, to be honest, as I get older, the more I appreciate Brett. When I was a kid, I didn't really like him that much.
Sure.
But as I watch his stuff now, I wish more wrestlers wrestled like him. So I'm appreciating him.
He was my favorite growing up, so Jason always had to deal with that, and he was the biggest Shawn Michaels fan, so it was very difficult to be friends for a long
it was
time.
great.
It was obviously I was just I'm,
Really
like, exaggerating.
Because Sean kept
Yeah,
winning.
watching WrestleMania with you was really difficult. It fucking sucked, man. Come on.
The
'Cause you're
boyhood
not
dream has come true.
Yeah, you're not a gracious winner by any respect. You're
Still
you
You
know,
wouldn't be either. So
broke
you know,
my couch, broke
It's
my soul.
fine. He's also a Chelsea fan, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
I was.
The one thing I will say, one caveat about saying Brett is the GOAT is, man, is Danielson ever making a case for that title right now? Because
oh
hot
yes,
damn, absolute incredible. And just one more to throw it out there, my favorite, not the GOAT, but my favorite, Sami Zayn. Sammy, absolutely Sami Zayn.
He's so
If you
good.
got-
He's
if
so
you haven't
good.
seen his interview with Sami Zayn, YouTube it. Go
Yes.
check
I did
that
see
out.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Check it
Great
out.
interview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Very good.
that was
very good.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That was
So sick.
that was a lot of fun. That was a really cool experience to speak with Sami Zayn. I was told we didn't have as much time as we had with him as we did with the other people from the press junket, but it was really great to talk to Sami Zayn about, like, you know, the origins of the haluva kick, even though I had bad information going into that. Talked about Against Me. Yeah,
Nice.
it's just really cool stuff.
That's class. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly.
And
jealous
actually,
about
if
that
I
particular
can
thing,
actually
so.
do a shout out to Spencer, because just today, he recorded an interview with Kevin Owens, and that just dropped on our Patreon. It's going to be available later this week. I'm sure by the time this episode airs, it'll already be available on our YouTube.
I think just
Awesome.
a picture
That's
dropped, and it's like his face, and he's just like,
Yeah,
it's like, this is
Yeah.
my face the entire interview.
Just
long.
losing
Like,
it, yeah.
like, I can't blame you, bro. That's fucking sick.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, that's
Checking that
class.
out.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, you
Any
passed the
other
test.
questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Any
you.
other questions from you boys for Zach just now?
No, that's
Well, I certainly want to hear what he has to think about the pay-per-view and the upcoming pay-per-view. So I suppose you mentioned Danielson.
Yeah.
I don't see a better segue than that.
Hell
perfect.
yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk. Wax, do you have anything you want to go through with what was happening there?
You mean like news? Like other news?
Do we have the Waxman news drop, or is it like last week when it was like when his camera turns off?
I don't know.
You want me to workshop it again?
Yeah, one check.
Uh,
Come on.
All right.
It was
Well, I
good.
don't know my
You
drop.
know how it is with there it is.
Get a life, kid.
That's not it.
Close enough. It changes every week, Jason. It changes every week. You gotta
Welcome to the Four Jobbers podcast.
get with the times, brother.
This is why we're
Get a
jobbing.
life, kid.
I only had one thing that I saw that was newsworthy, and I also kind of wanted to keep it pretty short, given we have a lot of stuff that we wanted to talk about. But I did want to get everyone's opinions on belt unification in WWE. We had more of it. This one is we're kind of crossing into new territory here. So Zach, we have been saying for weeks and months and maybe years, honestly, at this
Yeah,
point, is that
probably,
they need to
yes.
do something with the women's tag team division. And the cat is jumping
Every
about. I
frigging
hear-
time.
Cat's passionate about the women's
cat-
tag titles.
The cat is stirred up. Absolutely. More
your cat,
passionate
Matt
than
Belshano.
most. But yes,
Bear
we've
hug
been
'em.
saying the WWE needs to do something with the women's tag team titles, and they did something. This past week, we have a unified, undisputed tag team champions, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, and not only did they beat Alba and Isla, they will be defending those titles not only on the main roster, but also on NXT. So is this the right something that the WWE needed to do? Are we waiting and seeing, or are you just not on board right off the bat and you need to be brought on board? And that's open to anybody. Any thoughts?
Yeah. I'm on board with it. I think it was great. It was a great decision to bring a women's tag team championship to the WWE. Absolutely great decision.
Yeah.
But they didn't back it up by building a proper division in either the main roster or in NXT. By
Yes.
putting one championship that tours between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, you have a bigger talent pool of tag teams. It's still not deep, but at least, like, you know, we're not pretending that the NXT tag team, women's tag team division has anyone for more than 2, 3, 4 months at a time. And again, that problem exists on the main roster. It's just a little bit deeper. But like, if you look at the past, all the WrestleManias since the integration of the of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, there has not been one team that has competed on 2 different WrestleManias. They're always split up. They're always in new teams entirely. We haven't had one team survive from one WrestleMania to another. It's insane. So this was a really good decision, I believe.
Yeah, you had that great tweet, the tracker of it, and just like bang, 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 bang. I was just like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah. After this last year's, I said, you know what, guys, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I will bet $500 that none of these teams will be part of the WWE. It will be competing next year for the women's tag team championship. They all split up one way or the other, and ultimately it was moot because the women's tag team champions were in the 6-woman tag, which was great, but no championship match.
So Vince owes you Vince owes you $500. You heard it here.
That's
Fellas
fair.
paid him.
Get it done, Vince.
Yeah.
Like we've been talking about it for a while. Like they did what we asked them to do. They unified the titles. They just unified the wrong thing, in my opinion. Like I don't think you should have women's tag titles if you don't have women's tag teams. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, introduce women's tag teams and then bring them a title rather than the other way around. But what we do have is a hell of a lot of women in both NXT, Raw, SmackDown that are, we've said this before, dying for a mid-card title. Like, why are they not competing for, I don't even know, it doesn't matter what you call it, a women's IC or whatever. Like, there needs to be a title that helps get somebody like, and I'm going to use this name as a random name, your Liv Morgan, to the point where she's able to compete for the main title. She went straight to that main title. Yeah, I know, but she didn't deserve it. Like,
she shouldn't have.
She shouldn't have. It's not her fault. It's just she wasn't as over as she could have been if she had had, for example, a mid-card title under her belt where she had endeared herself to the fans. If they had taken those two women's tag titles on, the main roster ones and merged them together to make a singles title, as weird as that might be, I would rather have seen that. It would have made more sense to me. But alas, let's spread out your talent even further over another show and have Ronda Rousey compete on a Wednesday night against Tia Hale of Chase University or whatever it is. Like, it just feels a bit off to me. I like the idea that you've only got one set of tag titles, but you've just spread it thinner now, unfortunately.
Okay.
Are there a lot of tag teams on NXT, women's tag teams?
No.
No.
A lot of them just got called up, to be fair.
There were two tag teams that I could think of, and they both got called up to the main roster. So I'm like, all right. That's pointless.
And it's so funny because this was the original plan for the women's tag team championship. They were going to be defended on NXT. Like, Sasha and Bayley brought the belts there, and then for no reason they introduced an NXT women's tag team championship. And again, there's really nothing notable that happened with those championships over the I don't know 14 months, 18 months of their lifespan. No.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think it's nice that they are doing something. I agree on that. And I think, Jordan, you also put in exactly kind of what was missing for me. There's no sense of progression from what is a quote-unquote mid-carder to what is a quote-unquote main eventer in the women's division. And so outside of 4 or 5 names, everyone else is going to feel like they're kind of thrust into something and they're not believable as contenders. At least in the men's division right now, albeit we have Gunther on his quite long title reign. Even Theory's getting up there too, although he's not defending his title very much right now. That's a whole other story. But anytime a Liv Morgan or a Nikki Cross, or even we'll talk about it with Money in the Bank, and Io Sky, who is a phenomenal wrestler, it's always going to feel to the crowd, well, who's she? Why is she getting a chance? Why is she getting up here? Mm-hmm. And if they had said, oh, well, she was holding the mid-card title and she lost that, but she's legit because we see it. We don't have that. It's just people winning a bunch of matches that, exactly, Zach, as you said, are getting thrown together. We don't know why these people are teaming up. Then they're not a week later. Then they're teaming up with somebody else a week after that. It's a mess, and it's not for lack of talent. It's just for lack of direction.
Yeah, I feel like I should throw in that caveat too. Like, it is not the performer's fault. Like, this is a complete creative downfall that needs to be remedied, and it's the women, they work hard in the WWE. They certainly do. They put on great matches all the time. but man, they just don't have the support to build a proper tag team division.
Okay. So I guess let's have a little chat about Forbidden Door. Obviously, we had a pay-per-view at the weekend there. There were I was going to say some matches. There were a lot of matches if you watched the 0 hour or whatever they call their pre-show, and then all the other, there was a dark match as well, and then everything else going on. But I think you guys have caught up with most of what kind of happened there. Was there any highlights from Forbidden Door? And what do you think about this pay-per-view in general? Just open question to anyone.
I'll say about Forbidden Door itself, the concept. I'm warming up on it. Last year, it was one of those things that sounded like a really cool idea on paper, and I was just unsure in practice how it would carry out. Now, AEW is definitely more of a smart crowd, right? It's for people who already, like, I don't want to make it sound pretentious, but it's for people who already have loved wrestling through other means. You're not, or maybe now you are, but back then, of course, you're not coming to AEW fresh, never watched wrestling before in your life, because this is the alternative. And even then, I found myself having to do a lot of research, which I guess is kind of part of it. You learn who they are as they progress the storylines and make the matches. And this one I thought was better executed in that way, because we already had some familiarity. We already carried in some backstory. So I'm happy they stuck with it, because it could have very easily been like, well, okay, this didn't quite work. And it was still great last year too. But I think it's getting to a place where it can be relied on pretty consistently now. We have the New Japan names that we know. Even the ones we don't know, we get familiar with them. So yeah, I've warmed up to it personally.
New Japan is indie wrestling. That was crazy.
That was great.
Yeah. MJF really hammed it up, as he always does, and it was just, very good stuff.
Oh, yes.
I watched most of the event, and I agree. Like, it feels. What's the name of that? What's the name of that golf tournament? Is it in the States where like a celebrity teams up with a professional golfer and they do this like mad tournament thing, and it's like it's of no consequence. It's just a bit of fun. It's something you never
for charity or whatever.
Yeah, like it's that's kind of what this feels like. And as much as I enjoy seeing moments in a wrestling ring, because I enjoy seeing, I've heard of them and I love them and I'm getting to see them together, fine. The one thing I miss when I watch something like this is story, because I love the story behind the match. And if you're not going to give me any of that, I kind of get to the end of the 20 minutes or whatever and go, well, what was the point? It was cool to watch, but I didn't really love it as much as I could have, because I wasn't invested in it,
I think they did a better job this year in that criteria than last year, because
definitely,
yeah, there were a few that didn't have a really meaty backstory, but like for the most part, we had there was like the revenge story going on for the U.S. Championship for Danielson Okada. I mean, pardon me, I'm not saying it was a very huge story, but like Danielson just went out and said like, hey, Okada, you're good, but I'm the litmus test for great. They're professional wrestlers, and he wanted to see how good he is and testing their mettle against others. That's enough for me personally.
Yeah, those two aside for sure. That one was oozing.
One of the greatest matches I've ever seen, and then I learned that Danielson performed a better part of the match with a fractured forearm.
How?
Yeah.
How? It's insane.
He's nuts. Backing up the point you made earlier about potentially, greatest of all time, worthy. He is unbelievable. Every time I watch him, he's insane. And then to know that he can do all of that while injured is just ridiculous. I sometimes call out work when I've got a slight headache. You know what I mean? And this guy throws himself through a table or whatever with a broken arm already. It's ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah.
Any highlights from the pay-per-view that you guys wanted to call out?
Yeah, how do you feel about CM Punk being back? Are you a CM Punk hater, lover, indifferent? How you feel?
I love CM Punk. Like,
let's go.
I thought, but like, I'm a bigger fan of heel CM Punk. So
sure.
like,
Yes.
you know, he's coming out to heel reactions, and he was listening to it. He
Yeah.
was like leaning into it, but he's still
like
like
candy
he's
for
walking the line. Yeah, exactly. He thrives under that. But he's walking the line. He's being a very interesting character right now. He's a heel to the crowd, but he's still like very much. He was very respectful to Kojima during the match and post match and everything. So he's interesting right now. He's a very interesting character, and he always is. But there's a certain mystique that's around him at this particular moment in time.
You're right. When he's a heel, there's so much more CM Punk than Phil Brooks. When he first came into AEW, it was friggin' Phil Brooks, Mr. Nice Guy.
Awful.
And I think CM
I
Punk's
had time
character
for
is
that,
both.
but- Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't the end of the world. I was so happy to watch anything with him when he first joined up. But the enjoyment and satisfaction I get out of heel CM Punk, you're right, is just like,
And like
man,
ul-
the nuance
ul-
in his character now and stuff. He's got it. Like,
ultimately, we have to see him fight the Elite, right?
We have to.
oh my
I really
God.
hope
It's
Of
undeniable.
course, yeah.
Even if you really hate him, I mean, Brett and Sean
It's
hating
gotta
each
happen.
other. You got to make it happen.
Got to make it happen.
Who helps him? Because he's got to have some help, right? He can't go into this
Well,
alone.
FTR.
I just want to see him
FTR.
versus
Oh,
Kenny.
FTR, perfect. Yeah, you're right. FTR,
FTR would
perfect.
do it.
Him and Kenny.
Speaking of heels, Jungle Boy.
Is he
Ah,
Yes, yeah.
Jack Barry.
Jack Perry. I
Christian knew all along.
Christian all along. Sure. I was happy to see it. I think Jungle Boy needed something to kind of shake up what he was doing. He's very, very talented.
do
You
we
know.
feel like he's ditching the Jungle Boy of
Yeah, you
The
can't
Jack
use that
Perry,
happy
like-
Might be
song.
time to
the
do
way he
Jack
was
Perry.
taking off
Yeah.
the cuffs?
we
It
have
felt
that?
like he was taking off that gimmick, you know.
He was also kind of making
Yeah,
fun of the whole Baltimore wave that the fans would
Yeah.
do for his music. So I think that's gone
Crazy.
too.
Yeah,
It's no more jungle life.
He can always come back to it at any point, right? He can always
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Of
immediately
course,
one day
of
come
course.
out because
But
this side of him, like, we don't know what his character is right now. We don't know who Jack Perry is. What's his deal? Jungle Boy had like a whole gimmick, so I'm excited to see what he does with this.
I do hope he does not kind of rejoin with Christian and Luchasaurus and all that. I'd like to see him kind of strike out on his own and see what he is.
Yeah.
Personally.
One thing that AEW is very good at is like informing the audience how these characters relate to one another, and I think that would be a huge step backwards after the very personal rivalry that he just had with Christian.
Exactly.
Don't want to see them fall into the trope. It's like, oh, you're a heel now, so we're friends again. You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not all heels have to intrinsically like each other. Heels are assholes, so
Yeah.
assholes do not like other assholes.
you know,
Or they shouldn't.
a concept.
Exactly.
That's
What
true.
a
I
concept.
absolutely hate Jason. So
Yeah.
So you're an asshole too.
I
Both
yeah,
assholes.
Oh yeah, I'll admit it. That's fine.
Me and Wax can all
If there are no other comments on Forbidden Door and some of the matches there, just in the interest of time, why don't we fire through some predictions for Money in the Bank? This always
Yeah.
gets me pumped.
Is it this weekend? Right?
It is this
Yeah.
weekend. It's on
Sick.
Canada Day, Jason.
Nice.
And it's in the afternoon for us.
Perfect.
Very lovely.
So you're going to be sitting there in the flat with wee Frank
Waving my flag.
waving your flag. Nice.
Waving
It's
the
gonna be
flags
great.
like
That's gonna be tough to
Michael
swing. I'm supposed to
Wilbon,
go out
Tony
to,
Kornheiser,
Ontario.
being a PTI.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
Goodbye, Canada.
let's go through. Let's go through the card. I'll take us through the card match by match, and we'll see if we've got any comments we want to make on that match. But more importantly, we'll get your predictions, and I believe Brad is going to note them down. Not that
Aye.
he said he was going to, but I've just
do
nominated
it.
him there because that's how we do things on this podcast. Wait, where's my pen? Ah, I've
The
got
pen
my
of destiny.
multi-pen. The pen of destiny. I've got 4 colors just in case. Let's go. Here we go. Match number 1 for Money in the Bank. We'll kick it off with the Money in the Bank ladder match for a men's championship match contract. Now, this year, it's been pretty specific in saying that it's any title, right? Which is kind of weird. But, I guess why not? But in that match, we have Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, and Jason's favorite, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Just shout out. What are our predictions or comments for this match?
Oh man, I'm really hoping it's LA Knight's here. Strap the rocket to him, man. Listen to your audience. Listen to your audience, man. You love them, and that'll make it all the better when he does something so vile with that briefcase and cashes in on Seth Rollins or does something so evil. Man, do it. Just do it.
Let's go.
I'm totally with you. It needs to happen. I'm
in on that.
I was
backwards
behind him the whole way in NXT, and then when he appeared in the main roster, I was like,
"Oh
what have he done?" But it's fine. He's redeeming himself. I mean, he's probably the only person to be almost literally buried by Bray Wyatt and then come back bigger than Bray Wyatt. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I need him to win this.
Yeah, it's got to be LA Knight. They did their best attempt at ruining his career by making him a manager. He had that horrible Mountain Dew match, and he's come back stronger than ever. And the people want him to win and just give us that moment. I mean, he was one of my boys from back in the day, and I'm happy to see him get the success now. I also liked Karrion Kross, and look what they did to him. I don't think he's ever coming back. So let's give it to LA Knight. Let's strap it to him and let's go.
Oh, yeah. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It's 3 words, 2 letters. L-A. Night. But yes, he survived Max Dupree. He survived Mountain Dew Pish, glow in the dark rave match. And the WWE is still not doing him any favors. He lost like 20 matches in a row, and he's still over. He's getting natural, organic cheers. People are chanting along with his name. They're saying and he's doing all that himself. I don't care if he's 40. I don't care if he's 50. He's that good.
He's over.
Strap a rocket to him. He's my pick as well. And if anybody else wins, I will be severely disappointed.
Yeah, it's not like he's some choice that doesn't make sense. He has the look, he has the muscle, he has the size, he has all the normal things that even the old school wrestling people wanted as a champion. So what's the problem? Just give he can talk, he can do everything.
After everything they did with Karrion Kross, they need to give us this, please.
Exactly.
I'm very happy. Yeah, I'm very happy overall. This match is whoever does win this match, it should be LA Knight, but whoever does win, it's someone who will be elevated with the briefcase. That at least is quite refreshing.
And that's a good thing about it. When I look through the card for this, everyone I see there, if they were to win it, is going to put on a great match that night, and it's going to be interesting to see them carry it. Like, there's nobody there that I'm like, oh, really?
I mean, there's a couple.
I've got a couple as well.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to see Butch or Ricochet, but I love them and they're great performers. But
again, good performers, right? So necessarily in the gimmick,
we need a good talker to have the briefcase.
But if I had Pete Dunne with that, that could be exciting.
I could see Pete Dunne. I'd be getting the hometown reaction with the Money in the Bank. I think there's a potential for a moment there.
He'll definitely have a near fall, I guess.
Give it to Logan.
It'll be on his fingertips.
Would be funny, but it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Logan turned up
he doesn't
and said, "Hey, can I have a title shot against Roman?"
I do think he might steal the show. He might steal the show, though. He might steal the match.
I'm excited to see him in the match, 100%. Yeah, him and Rick could definitely pull out some magic. But
absolutely. So is that a clean sweep for LA Knight, or Brad? Would you going with Logan?
No, LA Knight across the board, baby. Let's go.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We have one of the greatest heels in the history of wrestling now. Dominic Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes. A bit of a fall for grace for Cody, I think, based on his trajectory when he first got in. It's a side quest.
Side quest with one of the hottest heels going.
True. But against one of the hottest heels. You're right. What do you think is going to happen there?
All over the place here.
I mean, it's gonna be Cody. He can't lose. He can't lose unless it's a monumental. What's it called? Schmoz.
Schmoz for sure. Yeah, schmoz for sure.
But no, Cody's winning.
Yeah, don't.
Some Rhea offense would be great. Love to see Rhea beat him up with the ref down, something like that. Get a power bomb in. I don't know.
I can honestly see Dominic win this somehow.
I was gonna say, am I crazy for thinking
Yes.
ex-con Dom can pull it out?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's fine. I'll take it. But I'm gonna
Just
pick
imagine
Dom.
a scenario where I see Cody winning this, but like, imagine Dom being able to say 3 people have beaten Cody Rhodes since he got back: Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and me. You know, like there's some substance there.
Now I want
For
that
sure.
to happen very badly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why they
I mean,
won't do it.
That's why they're already giving us LA Knight, so we're not going to bet on the fact they'll give us this as well.
I
Fair
like
enough.
Cody. I'm going to be cheering for Dom. This is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
There's
Do you know what?
there's
I'm
an
going
interesting
with,
answer, but there's
Dom
no
for
wrong
sure.
answers. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, I'm going to go with Dom on this one. I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Jason?
So is that
I'm
Just say
going
Cody.
Cody all day. All day.
That's me too. I'm going
Nice.
Cody. Big win for Cody here. I expect, even though he's hurting all of that, I'm happy either way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I mean,
should
I'm
be
loving
fine.
what
No,
Dom's
either way
doing.
will be great.
Just bought a nice Dom Immaculate trading card. It should arrive soon.
Very nice.
Gotta buy them
Just in
before they start
case.
going up. Before he's
just
a
in
legend.
case?
He's
Yeah.
on his way. I'm telling you.
So what is that? A couple of Doms and
Zach,
3
what did you say?
Codys.
Big Dong Dom.
Yeah. What's your choice?
I hyped up Dom, but I think the safe bet is Cody.
Nice.
Cody it is.
That's
Put it on
fair.
the board.
Next match, then we have Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going to jump in early and
That's who
say
he's fucking at.
Seth. It's far too early for him to lose that title, surely.
Mm-hmm.
But Stranger Things, I guess. I don't know what you guys think.
Oh, freaking Rollins! I think.
Freaking Rollins.
I think it's too early. Exactly. He's the working man. He's the working man's title holder. I think it's. I can't see especially if Dom is going to win against Cody. I can't see Finn also beating Seth, and I don't think Priest is going to win. Obviously, so
Judgment Day gets all the gold, like Evolution, huh?
No, that'd be.
I don't think we're there yet with them.
It's been a long time since Finn won a championship. I'd love to see it on him. I just don't know if this is the right.
It's not. Yeah.
I don't know if this is the time.
He could
this
be the
moment.
one to do it. He could be the one to beat Seth.
He could be,
but
Of
I
course,
don't
it's
think he'll be
believable
here.
in my mind.
It
Other
would
than the fact
be-
that last time he had a contract, John Cena wrote his name over his name and somehow got the match. But
That was
Yeah,
stupid.
good,
just
good
allowed
point,
that to
yeah.
happen.
It would be poetic justice, I guess, because Seth was the one.
Poetic
You know, he got hurt. Actually, no, he had to give up the belt. You know, to
Yeah,
Seth,
he
but
gave it up. Yeah.
this was just kind of a quick build to a good match. Like he hasn't really been in the main event picture at all, so to give it to him now would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I'm picking Seth.
Yeah, they did a
Jason?
really good piece of business this past Monday night or last week's Raw with like Finn looking like an absolute killer, doing 3 coup de grace to Seth. But you know, not only do I think Seth like takes it because it's the logical choice, I also need a babyface to be holding that championship for when LA Knight cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, there we go. He's tying it all together in his mind already. It's all making sense.
3
Love
steps
it.
ahead.
That's it. That's at least 2 steps ahead of WWE, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's move on then. So next match we have is the one we discussed earlier: Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan, the returning Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez.
It's unacceptable. 2 tag teams with no tag team names. When you become a tag team, you have to fill out the paperwork, and they have no tag team names. How can this match?
Fill out the paperwork. That's the rules.
This is
apparently.
unsanctioned match. I won't accept it.
Unsanctioned. Yeah.
Go on, please.
I mean, this feels like the same as the last.
Gotta be Ronda.
I have
They
no
can't
comment
lose
on
it.
it other than
think
Ronda
they can't
has to
lose
win.
it yet.
Yeah.
Let's have someone hold it for a while and make it look important and build it up, and then it's a big deal when it gets
Maybe that's what it
defended.
needs. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
What a concept.
Yeah, you're not feeling
Ronda and Shayna haven't had the chance to really take off and be killers yet with these belts. I think with Liv, with the returning momentum, Raquel's also phenomenal, and she's massive, I think this is a great opportunity for them to kind of have a
Yeah.
statement match. Not a squash, but
Absolutely.
a statement match. So they'll win.
Absolutely. Cool. Next match. Sorry, I'm just looking at the card here. Right, we've got Gunther.
Hold on, before we move on, does anyone
that
want to pick
oh.
Liv and
Did
Raquel?
everyone
Is
have
anybody
a-
picking Liv and
No,
Raquel? Or...
No.
this is a cakewalk.
That was an open and shut. It was open and shut.
I didn't hear any
Just
objections.
wanted to check
difficult.
just in case.
Yeah, so we do have the IC title with Gunther versus Matt Riddle.
Hard hitting slobber knocker, brother.
Where are you seeing
I'm
this,
excited
Jordan?
For this, I think it. Huh?
Oh, it just got added. I refreshed my Wikipedia page with the card, and it just got added. Did they just make this
There we
match?
Yeah, literally,
Raw.
as I'm talking,
That's going on right now.
Yes, this
it's
is
happening
live.
as we speak.
It's live. It's live, Maggle.
So yeah, we have Gunther versus Matt Riddle for the IC title. Again, this is going to be a great match. I am very excited for this, but I think that it will obviously stay around the waist of Gunther. It's not going to
As it should.
Definitely not. Yeah,
Hope
it's
so.
not going. Matt's not going to win that, surely. Is
Uh-uh.
that another clean sweep there? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know what, if they didn't put it on Sheamus after like their really great program, they need to have a program worthy of taking the belt off Gunther, and like what they've done with Matt Riddle. I don't think that's that.
Not yet.
No,
not
exactly.
yet, for sure. Okay, then moving on to the second Money in the Bank ladder match of the night is the women's match. In that we have Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Bailey, Io Sky,
Meow.
and Trish Stratus.
A lot of storylines in this match, like
There's a lot of
interweaving
storyline in this
stories.
Yeah, like a rich tapestry of wrestlingness.
Very intriguing. Very intriguing.
Anybody want to kick off predictions there?
I will.
Oh.
Do it.
Io Sky.
That was
Just like that, eh?
Yeah.
You are a mark,
I
to be fair.
I am a mark. I think she's one of the best wrestlers in the company, period. Anyone who watched her on NXT as Io Shirai can vouch. I think her win would be the most interesting storyline-wise. There's already some cracks. Damage Control needs to do some damage control of themselves because things aren't looking too hot. There's a little bit of an unsteady relationship now between Io and Bailey, and I think this is the intrigue we need with Io having the briefcase. What does that do to their dynamic? How does that move forward? I think Bailey, not Bailey, Trish and Zoe and Becky are going to be too caught up in their, whatever they have going on. They're going to take themselves out. That's why I don't think Becky wins, especially. And Zelina, no, I don't see that either. So for me, Io makes the most sense, and of course, as a mark, that's what I want. But I'm free to hear your dissenting opinions.
I mean, it's not a bad pick.
Yeah, I got
She
time
gets-
for EO winning.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Damn
Yeah.
right.
The only other choice for me is actually the opposite of that. It's Bailey, and I know Bailey's won before, but the idea of Bailey winning that over Io, I think further fuels the fact that Io wants to get away from her shadow, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And maybe
Yeah.
there's some mad fuckery that happens that that means that when there's a cash in, perhaps Io prohibits that or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going to go with Bailey on it. I think just slightly bigger name, and I think for that storyline, it would make for me more sense that she is ahead of Io Sky going forward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like that pick because I'm a huge Bailey mark. And when she came back with Damage Control, I was a little bit disappointed because I feel like she's been nerfed a little bit with that group. She should be the top of the top. I love her so much. But since I've played it pretty safe, I'm going to go really into left field with this one. And I'm going to take the Canadian on Canada Day, Trish Stratus, to get the Money in the Bank. And she's going to get it because of Zoe Stark. And Zoe
Yes.
Stark
Yeah,
will help
that's
her.
fair.
And maybe she'll take the briefcase from her at a later date.
Interesting.
I'm in league with you. I think Trish Stratus. pardon me, Trish Stratus is I think she's the
Mark, I
most
know.
interesting choice here.
Yeah.
Because like we
Definitely.
haven't seen like a real established legend who's like doing her own HBK second run, which has just been really great. I watched that match with Raquel Gonzalez. She hasn't missed a step, especially with
Outworking half
making
the
her
roster.
opponents looking good.
Let's go.
She's been So let's put it on Trish. I think there's a real power move in having her hold that, and if Becky wins the title down the line, that's an interesting cash in its own right. That's put it on Trish. I think there's something there.
That's who I wrote down for my pick as well.
Really?
Absolutely think it's going to be her.
Okay.
I think she's going to get help from Zoe Stark. She's going to get that title. And like you say, she's the most interesting choice. There's so much going on with her. She's having such a hot run. And I really thought that she was only back for just a microsecond just for Mania. And now this has turned into like this whole run.
She got drafted,
amazing. Let's keep it
so,
going, baby. Let's get it go. Yeah, drafted. Let's go. So bring that title to Canada's Got Talent or whatever. Stick it on the bench at Canada's Got Talent. They're gonna love that marketing.
Canada.
Couple of Trishes, a Bailey, and an EO. It's going to
I've
be
always been a
interesting.
mark, so it is what it
That's
is.
fair.
It's all about the Greeks.
Let's very, very quickly then move on to the final match of the night. It is the Civil... It's actually branded here, apparently, as the Bloodline Civil War Tag Team match. I don't know if that means that it's different from any standard tag team match.
Trademark.
Civil War
trademark.
rules.
Yes. Oh, right, okay. Between the Bloodline, Roman and Solo versus the Usos. Brad, you've been relatively quiet waiting for us to give our picks first. I'm going to call on you first and ask you to give us your pick.
So you can't
Call
copy
him out.
us.
I can always change it afterwards. What are you talking about? I'm going to go ahead and lock in the Usos to get the victory here. Somehow, some way.
Pinning Solo, right?
They got the momentum. Getting Solo, you think that Solo's going to join them?
Pinning Solo.
Pinning Solo. I don't think Roman takes the pin here. Even if he does, I don't even think it matters.
Ooh,
It's not for the title. Does it really matter?
Still doesn't look good. I don't know.
Looks
The
good.
Tribal Chief, damn it.
Looks good for
Or
main
is
event
it-
Jimmy. Main event Jay. Sorry.
Is this the moment that we perhaps see the another crack in Roman's armor and him getting pinned for the first time, not losing his title? But is it possible that we see that happen?
Is it time for a crack? It's time for Roman's crack?
I'm here for Roman's
Who's not
crack.
here for Roman's
I'm just
crack?
saying.
Because the cracks have been
Come
all
on now.
around him, so now there'll be a crack in him.
In him. Yeah. They'll have two cracks.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
crack.
that. I feel that. I'm going to go with the Usos too then.
Yeah. Nice. Thanks for doing a Brad. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking in the Usos for sure.
Oh, yeah, now you are.
We're all doing it.
Just kidding.
You gave us a great take.
It makes
We're
more
gonna follow
sense.
it.
They're on
That's what-
fire right now. They can't lose.
I don't
Locking in
know,
another Usos
actually.
for Zach, for sure.
Yeah, I'm saying Usos as well. Hell, the old adage, like empires crack from within and are destroyed by outside forces. That's what's been happening with the bloodline. It's fallen off piece by piece. You give Roman another loss in a tag team match. Every loss he's had in the past X amount of years has been, teaming with Sammy, teaming with Solo, and had another loss with Solo. Like that's going to be like, you know what? I don't need anybody. Like he can kick out Solo, maybe he kicks out Heyman, and he just goes it alone. And that's what's going to be the last mistake, the last fatal error of Roman Reigns. And he, loses it very, I think we're talking about months until he loses that championship, probably to Cody.
That's what gives me pause is if this goes that way, then we're thinking he's losing the belt sooner rather than later. And I don't know that I see that personally. And that's why I think Roman and Solo are going to win this match.
Whoa. Nice.
I think we're not quite ready for another crack of Romans to show up in this night. I think we need to play this out a little bit longer. I think that's kind of been the name of the game with this whole bloodline story.
It's been 3 years, damn it.
Well, that's it. It's been 3 years, damn it.
We're not done yet.
We're not
No
done
way.
yet. I think
Not
Roman
ready for
and
Den.
Solo, they have one more trick up their sleeve. Again,
Ooh, new
this is
member?
me saying I want maybe not a new member. I don't know. So just some other wrinkle. I think Roman reasserts himself. Maybe even Jay and Jimmy fall in line again. I don't
Oh,
know.
I hope not.
Like a little bit of
Ooh.
Schadenfreude.
Ooh,
fair enough, but I think we're
Maybe
past
not.
that.
But I think Roman and Solo are going to win. I want Solo to look good again because he's a monster. Roman obviously has to look good because I don't see the decline happening as fast as you guys maybe do. I think we got to carry this out probably till WrestleMania 50, 40?
Roughly.
WrestleMania
40.
50. Good God.
40. Sorry. WrestleMania 40. I
Roman
think
will
it's
be
carrying
50.
out. I think it's carrying out until WrestleMania 40, and I don't see how if Roman loses here and things fall apart, how does he dodge losing that title for 10 months? I don't think he does. I think
Fair.
he has a little bit of a second or third or however many win here. Ready to be wrong, but it's how I feel
we
deep
will
in my
be
heart.
sitting here next week waiting to call you out on it, you weird shirt-wearing freak. So yeah,
He's trying to get in the bloodline. There's 2 open spots.
That's right. There's an opening for a
get
Sami
your
Zayn
CV
looking
in
guy.
as quickly as possible. And that is the card. That's a card for Money in the Bank. So that's us had a lovely, delightful
Not a bad card.
chat
Not a bad
with,
card.
with Zach. We've gone through some Forbidden Door. We've had a chat about Money in the Bank. I'm going to hand back to Brad to take us out and do all the final pieces of what do you call it? Paperwork? No, I don't know. All the bets. All the bets.
Well, I mean, first, Zach, where can the people find you and Love Wrestling on the socials? Where can they look for that?
Personally, you can find me on Twitter at SmarkMouth, on Instagram as Smark.mouth, and I got Blue Sky, so if anyone's got in on Blue Sky, you can find me there as SmarkMouth. Other than that, follow at Love Wrestling CA on pretty much any platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff.
Will we see you next month at the next IWS show? The really big show?
Oh, almost certainly. Dark Sheik versus Benjamin Tull. Yes, you will absolutely see me there.
Let's go. I think we have Waxman going with his valet. I'm going with my valet. We had 2 other friends at a party. We were talking about it, and they really want to come. So we're going to have a nice big group of jobbers and jobberettes in the building. So we'll definitely come say hello.
Love it. Let's grab drinks or something beforehand.
Yes.
What is Blue Sky?
It's an alternative to Twitter, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's you got to get invited in because it's still small, still growing, but it's developed by the guy who developed Twitter in the first place. So
taking it
a
back
lot
from
of that
Elon.
with
Let's go.
less Elon Musk.
Take it back from Elon. Okay, Elon's like Vince now, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Well,
pretty
I'll
haunted
be
lately, but
looking forward next month to some photos from Brutopia or wherever it is you guys end up. I'll be incredibly jealous. So
You'll be here in
maybe
spirit.
we'll
just
get
come
you
to
back out here
Canada.
soon.
I'll just come
That's
to Canada.
it. Get
right?
back out here, buddy.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Look for some
okay.
seed sales, bud. Get it going.
Yeah, might as well.
Well, we are the 4 Jobbers. Hello at the4jobbers.com, at the 4 Jobbers on all of social media. On behalf of everybody, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.